I have no experience with EMDR. I have no clue, how it actually feels to go through it. But they showed us a little video of it in action. And I said, what the fuck is this? This helps people? This is the modality that's supposed to cure people of their deep embedded trauma? I was a skeptic. I was like, this is some silly shit that they got us doing. I don't believe this. And then I got in the driver's seat and I started working it. And I said, hold on, this shit kind of works. This EMDR thing, there's something to it. I keep saying I'm a believer, and I'm devout now. I'm a damn psychophant, fate. I'm a maniac for this stuff now. This shit works, and I can just see from myself and my experience with trauma with a lot of the people I've worked with in the past that this shit is a game changer, man. All right, y'all. Let's see how this is going. All right, got the setup. Hopefully should be good. All right. Let's go. Got the coordinates locked in. All right, y'all. So it's the Chocolate Therapist. Back at it with another vlog. I think this is my second one. So, where am I going today? I am set to take a 40-hour, 5-day intensive training seminar on trauma. Over the next 5 days and 40 hours, I'm going to be learning EMDR. So you're probably asking yourself, what does that stand for? Eye movement desensitization reprocessing. You're probably like, what the hell does that actually mean? So let me give you guys a little bit of insight. So EMDR is a way of processing trauma. So a lot of us think when you go to therapy and you experience trauma, the best way of dealing with that trauma is to talk about it. You go and you talk to someone, you open up in the finest level of detail. I talk about every aspect of my trauma with someone else. And by the end of that, when I've made sense of it, I've gotten all the insight, that I will be able to overcome and heal from that trauma. But that's the thing. No, you can talk about your trauma, make the most sense out of it, all you want. But if it is trauma in the clearest sense of the word, then that shit's not gonna work. Why is that? When you talk about your trauma, you are using the prefrontal cortex. That is the logical part of your brain. That's not where trauma actually occurs in your brain when you experience it. When we experience trauma, when we are in a situation where our life is on the line, or we are immobilized, can't move, can't run, can't fight, and we shut down, our trauma is hard-coded in the emotional limbic system part of our brain. Some of you guys might know it as the lizard brain. It is a neurological part of your brain. When I'm talking about the emotional brain, I'm talking about the visceral part of our brain. Not the logical where we can have words and conversation and think through things cognitively, but I'm talking about the base of us. Smells, sensations, visions, feelings, stuff like that. EMDR, from my understanding, and I'm gonna find out over the next 40 hours, 5 days, is a Jedi mind trick where you're able to tap into the neurological, emotional part of the brain. We're not talking about our trauma in a way. We are going to tap into the emotional brain, and we're going to be able to reprocess that trauma that has happened to us so many years ago, so many times ago, and process it in a correct way. So that's my understanding of what I'm about to learn today. And hopefully I unlock the ability to not just talk about people's trauma, but do some wild shit and help them process it. So I'm gonna take you guys through my journey of learning this and hopefully I can get some footage. I might not, but I just want to make a little fun out of it. It's 40 hours of my life. I've spent $1,500 on this, so hopefully this is worth it. But I will see you guys soon. I'm coming up on our spot. I'll be there in a couple of minutes, and I'll keep you guys posted. Try to get you guys an inside look at what I'm about to get myself into. See you guys soon. Look at this. Pretty swanky. Okay, let's see where we go. So, this is John, who's currently 6 months in the future. I've been using EMDR and I've been fucking up people's trauma in a good way. I'm gonna be jumping in periodically to give you guys more context. This was my second time vlogging and I still suck at it, so there may be some parts where I don't explain what's going on concisely. So I'll be jumping in from time to time to give you guys more clarity. I'm jumping in right now to give you guys information regarding the training I went to. This is for anyone who wants to learn EMDR and came to this video specifically looking to be pointed in the right direction of a good program. I want to preface that I wasn't paid to give you this recommendation. I wasn't sponsored to make this video. I just wanted to share a great EMDR program with any therapist out there looking to learn EMDR, because that's what I need before I found this program. So the training I went to was held by EMDR Consulting. They hold trainings all over the country. I'm currently looking at their website right now, and they have trainings in Florida, New Jersey, New York, Louisiana, California, Illinois, North Carolina, Wisconsin, and even various locations in Canada. Basically, they hold trainings all over the country. So regardless of where you're watching this, there's a good chance that you can find a training near you. I was lucky enough to find a training that was 15 minutes away from my house in Arizona.
Illinois is really nice.
Illinois. I'll leave a link to the website in the description so you can see if they have a training near you. So I said earlier that I'm taking a 5-day intensive training, but they also provide 2-part trainings as well as virtual trainings online. Now I'll give some of you guys a heads up. This class ain't cheap. It costs $1,500 to take, but let me spoil this vlog for you. It was worth every single dollar. It completely equipped me to integrate EMDR into my practice and provide it for my clients as a treatment modality. After this training, I completely knew how to do EMDR. Plus, the program also offers 10 consultation hours included, so when I had any questions, I have 10 hours with a seasoned EMDR therapist to help to get any of my questions answered. Before I end this, I want to double down. If you're looking to learn EMDR, then I seriously recommend this training. Before this training, I was just a therapist who wanted to learn EMDR and see what all the hype was surrounding this thing. This training did exactly that while also changing my life and how I practice therapy now. So I just wanted to pass on this information to any therapist hoping to learn EMDR. And with that out of the way, let's get back to the vlog. We came a little early. They say black people are always late, but your boy came early. Gotta scope out the place and see what's going on here. Oh yeah, all right. Ooh, look at that, the roselias. I don't know if that's actually what a roselia looks like. Maybe it's just a rose, who knows? Beautiful nonetheless. My hand's looking a little ashy. Okay. Your boy made it. I think this is a pretty nice place, so I'm excited, you know? Hold on, did I lock my door? Had to make sure I locked the door. The last thing you want to do is be one of the only black people that come late. So let me hurry up real quick. Looks nice. Okay, looks nice. Hi there. Hello, there's like a therapy training seminar.
Yeah, you're actually just gonna go down this hallway and you'll see a staircase on your right hand side. It's gonna go down to this first level where these two like large green columns are.
Okay.
You're gonna be in those doors over there.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, my man. We in the right spot.
and write this in your books, you're making a big shift here from symptom-focused therapy to cause-focused therapy. What she wanted to explain was the pathogenesis and change related to EMDR therapy. What is the pain and what is the change in the resiliency result? When a person is traumatized, they often are missing access to one or more of these things.
You think this lock's behind us?
I don't know. Here, go ahead, we'll find out.
I don't know if it closed already. Oh, it's closed.
I'm Sean, by the way.
I'm John. Nice to meet you, my man.
Nice to see you.
Absolutely.
Are you from here or somewhere else?
Yeah, I'm from Tempe.
Oh, cool.
So, just right down the street.
Very cool.
I'm surprised that there was a lot of us men here.
Yeah.
I'm used to like being the only man in the
Well, we're about
classroom,
20% of the therapeutic population.
Really?
So, yeah.
Okay. All right. I guess that showed up in the
Yeah,
room
it did today.
so-
Yeah, nice to
All right, take it easy, Sean. So, first class today. Just wrapped up the first session. Feeling pretty good. Learning a lot. Your boy's been doing a lot of research outside of this, so it's all starting to click. I'm on the right path, you know, so pretty excited. Pretty excited. Just met Sean and a couple other dudes, so I'm feeling pretty good. Can't complain at all. So I'm recording a lot. People probably looking at me thinking I'm weird, but I don't care. So yeah, excited. We're learning. I'm getting better. I'm growing as a therapist, so I can't complain. If the quality's a little off, it's because I don't have my mic plugged in. I'm just using the audio from the iPhone, so bear with me. So I appreciate it. But intermission is almost over. I gotta make my way back in to the classroom, and I'll see you guys on the other side.
Take a breath, let it go. What do you notice now? I notice the fear room. And stop that.
What the fuck is this? So let me give you some background. I have no experience with EMDR. I have no clue, you know, how it actually feels to go through it. But they showed us a little video of it in action. And I said, what the fuck is this? So I thought it was like this, you know, like this is how you process it. But they go like this. I'll show you a video of it. They go like this for 20 minutes or 20 seconds. And then they're like, so how does that feel? Of course you do some setting up and whatnot. But I was like, what the fuck is this? This helps people? This is the modality that's supposed to cure people of their deep embedded trauma? It was just hard for me to believe it. So I guess I'm gonna have to like experience it firsthand and see what it's all about. But that shit was wild. Oh man, it's hot up in here. Let me set up home base real quick. So I'm checking in with you guys. First lunch. So let me give y'all an update. Your boy has gone to the first 4 hours of this. So we about 10% done. A lot of shit was thrown at me. I've been reading up on trauma and stuff like that, doing my research. So I was able to keep up, you know. The pace wasn't too fast. If there's a weakness in my therapeutic game, it is the brain shit. You know, prefrontal cortex, amygdala, hippocampus, subcortical, all that shit. I don't, you know. So let me jump in real quick. I'm sorry, I have no clue why I'm cussing so much. Maybe I'm just nervous or the whole situation was a little bit overwhelming. Regardless of what it is, I ask that you please bear with me. Back to the vlog. I'm starting to get a grasp on it, and I wish I had dedicated more time earlier in the career, because you gotta know some shit. You gotta know this shit when you're talking about trauma. It makes it a whole lot more easier. So first day was groundwork. They was beating the hell out of us with all this brain shit, understanding the neural links and how groups and if you experience. So what I'm explaining here is complex PTSD. And before this training and reading the book, The Body Keeps the Score, I had so little knowledge of just how powerful it was. This training really makes you sensitive to complex PTSD. And it's unreal that I did therapy for so long without knowing what exactly it was. Also, I highly recommend for anyone trying to gain a solid understanding of their trauma to read the book, The Body Keeps the Score. Let's get back to the vlog. Trauma, or little t trauma, at a young age, these microaggressions, it becomes this hard encoded grouping of, memories, cognitions, thoughts that can really determine the quality of your, relationship with yourself and other people in life and what you think about yourself. Oh shit, I forgot. Anyway, it was good. The teacher is phenomenal. So like, I paid $1,500 for this and I'm happy. I'm satisfied with my money. But let's talk about this. Now we're starting, hold on. No. I'm an existential therapist. So my therapy is centered around helping people get more in attunement, more in alignment with themselves so they can experience their best life. So I'm all about self-love, connecting with yourself. Some might call it a secure attachment style. I call it authenticity. Being an authentic person, so your relationships can be authentic and you can ultimately live authentic life. So when you're on your deathbed, you aren't left regretting the shitty life that you lived and that you were able to suck the marrow out of the bones of life and you can die peacefully. But this is the thing. Some people, it's good. We cling on to this shit, they're good. They understand it and therapy flows smoothly. But there's some other people, when we're doing this work, they are so traumatized. They are so set in a pattern of thinking that nothing I do can break through that wall. So this EMDR, hopefully, is going to help me do the work that I have not been able to do to break down these emotional traumas that get in the way of people being able to, change the direction of their life, get more in alignment with themselves, and live a more ultimately authentic life. And that's what I'm learning today. But boy, let me tell you this shit. Let me tell you this shit that they just showed us. I just watched a video of them walking through what EMDR is. The actual, there's levels to it, but the action process that actually gets the juices flowing in the brain that allows you to process this trauma and break it down and reprocess it, integrate it, and get it more in alignment with the way a healthy brain would be thinking about themselves. They showed us a video of what EMDR looks like in action. I thought it'd be like some sexy therapy, like Jedi mind trick shit, Mind you, you have to keep looking, processing your trauma. You're looking side to side, following this thing. And it allows you to tap into the emotional side of the brain. This dude, he's like this, and like he's asking little questions like, oh yeah, how does that make you feel? Yeah, stop it. Okay, check in. What's up? Okay, stick with that. There's nothing sexy about it. And this is the thing. It's hard for me to be like, this is what I'm doing. This is what does all that shit, breaks all that trauma down and lets us work with it and reprocess it and do some fancy shit with it and put it to the side and reintegrate it into your life and make it, and replace it with something healthier. This is what I'm doing this whole time? Crazy shit. That's what I'm doing. This is the key to processing trauma. This is hard to believe. The only thing that's keeping me locked into this is my wife has done EMDR. I've done a shit ton of research on EMDR, and it works. But that's the secret sauce, huh? I'm gonna have to understand this. I'm gonna have to spend more time with this. I'm gonna have to experience it myself. But maybe it's the blackness in me, but I see I see this. This is the trick. This is what's gonna help someone understand their trauma. Look, hopefully I get a hands-on experience with this shit, and I'm the one looking at it and trying to reprocess some shit. I ain't got a lot of trauma. My parents love me and they treated me well. I ain't got a lot of trauma, but there's some stuff I can think of, you know? Anyway, I'm gonna keep you guys posted. I'm about to hit some lunch. I'm probably gonna get some Jersey Mike's. We don't go to Subway, Jersey Mike's. And yeah, so I'm gonna keep you guys posted on the process. Let me tell you about the people there. Good people, everyone's good. Like I said, a lot of white women. I think there's two black women. I'm the only black man. You know, we unicorns in this profession. So, you know, I maybe there was a little chance that I see another black dude there, another brother, but no, I'm the only brother there as far as I know. There's a lot of dudes, a lot more dudes than I would have suspected. I think I was talking to some dude named Sean, and I was like, yo, there's a lot of us here. I'm surprised that there was a lot of us men here.
Yeah.
He probably got confused. He probably thought I was talking about black people, but nah, I was talking about men. And he said, yeah, we make up 20% of the therapeutic population. I was like, yeah, okay, that's about roughly how many people are here. So, oh, Jersey Mike, I missed the step. I missed the turn. Thank you, Jesus, found a spot. Let's go. Let's go. Lucky. Let me go ahead and get this Jersey Mike's real quick, and then I'm gonna come back and we're gonna talk about the first day so far, all right? Got the goods. Got the goods. Jersey Mike. You already know, baby. No one does it like jerseys. I guess no one does it like Mike's. Back in the car. Man, it's hot. Look here, man. 90 degrees in Arizona in November. Craziness. Just craziness. All right. I'm going to get back to the class, and then I'm going to continue to update y'all on this journey of learning EMDR. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, John Burtz, aka the Chocolate Therapist. And first 8 hours down, you know, it was a hearty lesson plan. And you know what? I know I made fun of it, but we started to actually practice some of this stuff. And your boy, I felt something. I'm starting to become a little believer in this EMDR shit. It was an emotional thing. I didn't cry. Your boy didn't cry yet. I'm gonna cry probably the next 32 hours of this training, but I'm starting to become a little bit of a believer. Let me get inside real quick and I'll tell you about my first day. All right. So, first day. First day's in the books. I'm liking it. You know, I was very skeptical earlier in the day. What the fuck is this? I was like, man, this shit is I can't get behind all this. They call woo-woo, you know, all this hippy-dippy stuff, you know. But then they had you practice it, okay? We spent 6 hours talking about it, the neurological, the facts, all this stuff. And then they actually have you practice the beginning. So EMDR is much more than just this type of stuff. There's levels to it. So before we get to all that, we had to do two things today. I was saying hi to someone. We had to do two things today. This is what we learned. Make a container and make a safe internal place of peace. So those two things, let me break it down for you. We made a container, which is like a healthy way of compartmentalizing like our trauma or stress or unprocessed trauma that we're working with. and also making a safe place, internal safe place, which is like a healthy version of disassociating. So, why do we do these things, and why did it make me a believer? First, the compartmentalizing. EMDR, you're gonna be processing trauma. We're gonna deal with some heavy shit, you know. We're talking about raping, we're talking about abuse, we're talking about neglect, we're talking about childhood stuff, you know. And there's only so much you can do in a 50-minute session. So if we are dealing with some stuff, or if you're dealing with some stuff, your client is dealing with some stuff throughout the week and they don't have you by their side, they need to be able to take that traumatic thing, that unprocessed thing, and put it somewhere safe. So they have you do something called making a container. And I was like, man, what is this imaginary shit? But I'm a very imaginative person, so it doesn't really bother me, but I was a skeptic, you know? And my partner was good. She was solid. She had my back. And we were going through making my container. And what did I do? So you're supposed to make something that you put in your trauma. And my thing was, I had a wardrobe, kind of like Chronicles of Narnia. It was a solid oak wardrobe. Big, solid oak basket, like, you know, quality, not some cheap IKEA furniture. But a solid thing with like a lion's head sketched on it, some carvings, you know, shit like that. So I know I'm doing a bad job of explaining this, but why did it get me so emotional? The person I was working with was like, why is this significant? Why is this oak solid container so important? I said, and this is what, you know, kind of tore me up inside. I said, I don't have to be soft with it. I can throw my shit in there and I can trust that it's gonna be able to carry that weight. And that just sounded so wonderful. As a therapist, I have to be gentle with people. I have to be soft, I have to be delicate. I have to monitor my words because I don't want to trigger, I don't want to hurt someone's feelings. And being able to take my shit, my own problems, and have this thing I could trust, this thing that is solid, that's built long or built strong to last long, it was a beautiful thing for me. I could take the kitty gloves off and I could be real and I could be rough with that thing, and I could trust that it could handle me, my imperfections, my problems, without me having to worry about it. Oh my God. And I was like, man, when I started describing why it was so important to me, it was so great. And it got me emotional, you know, because in so many of my relationships, I have to be cognizant of what I say and how I say it. And that gets tiresome after a while. I just want to be able to be rough, you know? I just want to be a little rough sometimes, you know? And having a container that I could be rough with and I could trust in, that's not going to turn on me, that's not going to break on me, that's not going to crumble, was a beautiful thing. Okay, and then the safe place. It's where you dissociate. So let's say, you know, things are getting overwhelming in your life, you got shit going on, things are, you're starting to have anxiety, you're starting to panic, you know, things are starting to get overwhelming. This is a nice place that you can go, that you can turn on and off, so you can dissociate in a healthy way. So for me, it was nature. It was being at Yosemite National Park, being on my one wheel, the breeze, the mountains, the trees, the animal, the crisp air. That is my place that I feel so free that I'm at peace in, and that nothing else matters but that present moment. I'm with my wife, I'm enjoying myself, and I'm at peace. Nothing matters. And it was nice. So someone's tailgating me. You can go to the left or the right, buddy, all right? Look, see, right now, I don't care about the tailgating dude. I'm in my safe place. I'm at Yosemite National Park. I'm in nature with my beautiful wife, riding my one wheel, chilling, you know? And this is the situation that you use this in. I'm already using it. Come on. Come on. It just feels good. I'm just blessed. Anyway, I started getting emotionally charged. This was deep for me, you know? This was eye-opening. You know, day one was a success. Day one, I'm starting to become a believer. I'm starting to trust in this, you know? So I just wanted to get you guys posted. First day was good. It started out with some skepticism, but I'm slowly becoming a believer of this stuff. I can't wait till I'm confident with it and I know what I'm doing. I'm probably gonna cry during one of these sessions. You know, I was already on the verge, and you know, we didn't even get to the nitty-gritty stuff yet. So anyway, this is day one. I love y'all. I don't know if anyone's gonna watch this, but hey, you know, I'm having a good time documenting this. I'm gonna look back, and I think I'm gonna enjoy this. So I'm gonna keep you guys posted. I will see you guys on day two. What's going on, y'all? Day number 2. Get the fit. Oh yeah, you see that? All right, you ready to go, boo? All right, y'all. It's day 2 of this 40-hour EMDR class. Yesterday was starting to make me a believer. Let's see what today has in store. I'm here with my beautiful wife. Yesterday she worked from home, but today she has to go in, so that's why we're riding together, get some quality time. Right, baby? Mm-hmm. All right, this is the thing, Emily, the people love you. They want you in the video.
I think you love me. You want me in the video.
That is also true, but there are 2 things that are true in this situation right now, and that you are a star, and I love you, and the people love you. Hold on to your butts. It's
I
gonna
don't
be a
think
shocker.
I should be required to film at 7:28.
You act like that's early. It's 10:30 on the East Coast right now, boo.
All right, I'm done with you. Bye.
Think about what is a flashback. A flashback is a sensory memory without the narrative. So what am I doing? I'm trying to activate the memory and integrate it into an adaptive memory network. Okay?
What's going on, y'all? Just checking in once more. We're on lunch right now, and you know, the first half, I don't know if I said it yesterday, the first half, it's a lot of information setting us up to do a little what they call practicum, the second half. So got a lot of knowledge. Yesterday was all about containers and safe places and stuff like that. Today is all about understanding how to lay the groundwork to actually do the EMDR. You're not just going in there waving your finger and then, you know, desensitizing someone from their trauma. There's actual process. You got to get in the mind, you got to talk to some people, you got to understand some of their core beliefs and stuff like that. And you take that groundwork, and then that's when you start doing the waving shit and all the processing. So there's, you know, it goes deeper than this, you know, it goes deeper than what I thought. There's layers, and but I'm happy to understand. I forgot to say that yesterday, what we were trying to do and why we learned containers and safe places is because we want to stabilize the client. We want to make sure that they have the tools to calm down, because we're going to be processing their trauma. So we're gonna open up Pandora's box. We gotta give them the tools to succeed and not be afraid to open that box. And if some shit comes out of that box, we've equipped them to stabilize, gather themselves, and overcome whatever is on the other side of that box. So that was what was important about yesterday. So I'm randomly here because I never checked back in for the rest of day 2. The end of day 2 was surprisingly emotional for me. In the second half of the day, we had to choose a traumatic memory that we were going to do EMDR on. Then we had to break it down to its traumatic components. I'll explain this later in the vlog. But while doing this, I surprisingly got emotional and was out for the rest of the day. I was emotionally tired and did not feel like checking back in with you guys. So this is why we're about to see a random jump to day 3. Let's get back to the vlog. What's going on, everybody? It is day 3. I wasn't able to check in with you guys yesterday after the second part, the practicum. It was, man, I'm becoming a believer, y'all. They got me. Your boy, I didn't break down in tears or nothing, but your boy, it got emotional. Yesterday, it all started to kind of click for me. There's just a lot that, is going on. I'm processing. I'm live right now. My brain's active. It's on. But yesterday, it all started to click. Why you need to help and give your client the first aid tools of being stabilized with a container and a safe place, because this is deep work. So yesterday, we go into detail. We're not just telling the story behind our trauma. We're it's real introspective work. We did what was called like sequence planning. So this is diving deep into a specific mindset, core belief that they call it, a cognitive flashback, a theme of your life. So for mine, it was a theme of inadequacy. And they asked me, what was my core, what was the earliest memory I felt inadequate? And it went all the way back to kindergarten, when I raised my hand to answer a question and I wasn't able to articulate my answer the way I wanted to. And I felt so ashamed. I felt so dumb. I felt like, what are people thinking about me and my worth? And I just remember putting my head down and like just feeling so down on myself. And, no kid wants to feel that. And, I went back to that little boy who felt inadequate in that moment. And it got me, it got me. And plus, the person who was doing it on me, they were asking questions. How does this make you feel? So you start to understand the introspective part that's needed. It's not about telling the story. It's about tapping into that memory. It's about tapping into the feeling that resonates within your body. And it's a lot. But it's a lot in a good way. It's overwhelming in a good way, and it's challenging. But it makes me more aware of kind of a weakness in my approach to therapy. I focused so much on the story, and I wasn't able to hone in on that very deep introspective memories, personalizing the story and making it, hit a little deeper than just telling a story. And I can't wait. I can't wait to use this stuff. It's really had an impact on me, and it's starting to change so much about how I'm going to go back to my practice and work and therapy with my clients. So getting that out of the way, today's the big day. Today is where you learn the Jedi mind trick of waving your fingers and actually reprocessing. So yesterday was the foundation, yesterday was the setup, and today we're reprocessing that. So this is where all the fireworks are gonna happen. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little excited at the same time. I can't wait to see, and I'm gonna keep you guys posted on that. So hopefully I have the energy to check in, at the midpoint and at the end of the day. But I'm gonna keep you guys posted. How you guys doing? Oh, sorry. Come on.
Thanks.
No problem.
Thank you.
No problem. All right, y'all, just got out of lunch. Let me find a spot so I can check in with you guys and update you on the day. All right, I think I'm set up shop here. Let me set up real quick. All right, I'm getting my pants too, Bert. All right, y'all. It might be too high. All right, just want to check in with y'all one more time. Kind of like every other day, we halfway through. It's officially 20 hours in. Again, morning is very content heavy, learning a lot. Today we're actually learning the reprocessing stage. It's called the desensitization. I always struggle with that word. Desensitization stage of EMDR, where you've done all the work, you've done the treatment sequence targeting, you've started to activate the subcortex, and now that's activated, now that's kind of hot, kind of warm, you are going to use that activation and reprocess it. So this is the most exciting part. This is the part that I have the most doubts. How is focusing on something and moving my eyes back and forth going to help me, open up all these different avenues and insights about myself? So I don't know what the hell that was. But I don't want to say I'm skeptical. I'm a believer now because I've been working with this for the last 2 days and I've seen the potential. But this part, it's the hard to believe part. So I'm excited. I'm going to try to get you guys some footage of it. But as of right now, I'm excited. And I'll get back to you guys with an update on how I've actually experienced it. So I'll keep you guys posted. So I was actually able to film my EMDR session. There's a lot going on, so unless you're familiar with EMDR, it won't make complete sense to you. So I'm going to come along for the ride with you and do kind of a live reaction and try my best to explain what's happening play by play so it all makes sense. So without further ado, let's jump right in.
So when we were just talking about that, there's more around this little play. Remind me what the negative belief is we're working with?
Inadequacy.
Inadequacy. I'm inadequate.
Yes, I'm inadequate.
All right. So when you kind of check in with what's coming up, we're attacking, like there's some more layers here.
Yeah.
What are you noticing?
So EMDR is much more than the Jedi mind trick you're about to see here soon. There's actually 8 stages to EMDR, and we're currently at stage 4. This is the stage where we're actually processing our trauma, and it kind of represents what a lot of us think EMDR actually looks like. So what are we doing here? We're starting to get the emotional juices flowing, and we're trying to get to the core of my trauma. You saw that she just asked me, what's the negative belief? So this is a very important component needed to process your trauma. At the core of all of our trauma is a shame-based negative belief. So let's break this down. What is shame? Shame is an unwanted identity that we don't want to feel about ourselves. If you think back to your most traumatic memories, it made you feel a certain type of way about yourself. If your parents neglected you, you may have felt like you were unlovable. If you went through a divorce or a breakup, you may have felt like you're not good enough. If you were bullied, you may have felt like I'm weak or I'm a pussy or I'm a bitch. If you were sexually assaulted, you may have felt like I'm going to die. The list of these shame-based traumatic identities goes on and on and on. I'm not important, I'm powerless, I'm unworthy, I'm a disappointment, are some of the most common ones to name a few. For me personally, my negative belief was I'm inadequate. And that's what we're starting to hone in on during this part of EMDR.
What are you noticing?
When I was in kindergarten and wasn't able to articulate and answer the question correctly,
Okay.
I remember putting my head down because we were all sitting down on the floor and like everyone, all the kids kind of like moving on and just being by myself there. That's what came up, just a lone little boy sitting there.
So in other words, I'm alone or I'm inadequate? Which one seems more connected to that?
I'm alone.
Okay.
So with EMDR, we're addressing the sources of our trauma through our traumatic memories. My therapist is asking me to recall the memory we're going to be processing. Again, this starts to get the traumatic juices flowing. As we start to dig deeper into this memory, we see a new traumatic theme start to surface. Before, I believed the trauma was solely due to inadequacy, but there's a stronger theme of I am alone that's starting to present itself as the trauma in this memory. Which one's stronger isn't really necessarily important because we can focus on addressing both of them. But what is important is that we're already gaining some perspective on my trauma. There's a link between my fear of inadequacy and how it leads to me being alone. This is what we call insight. Let's continue watching.
It's okay to check out this kindergarten thing?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you bring up that kindergarten event, what's the worst part as you think about it now or you notice it now? Is there an image or what represents the worst part?
Just a kid being there without anyone to support me. Okay, so you notice that she asked me, what's the worst part? So we've already covered component number 1, the negative belief or the negative theme at the core of our trauma. Now we're covering component number 2, the worst part. Asking what's the worst part of the memory is important because it helps us to anchor down to the bedrock of our trauma. Its purpose is to bring a vivid image into our mind's eye and answer the question, why was this memory so traumatic for me? It helps us conjure up and lock in a clearer image of the trauma connected to the memory we're processing. For me, the trauma is related to seeing myself as a kid alone, unsupported, and unloved. Let's keep watching.
So that kid sitting there all alone, feeling unsupported.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And when you notice the positive side of that, what would you prefer to believe? When you think back to that, what would you prefer to believe?
What would I prefer to believe? You're supported.
Okay. I'm supported.
You're loved. You're cared for.
Okay. So you're lovable. You're worthy of support.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
And when you
So now we're on to component 3 of EMDR, replacing the negative belief with a positive belief. So as of right now, when I think about this traumatic memory, the current theme of this memory is steeped in the trauma of inadequacy and loneliness. Part of the magic of EMDR is taking a traumatic memory and helping us change our perspective on that memory. We call this integration. So instead of me looking back on this memory and feeling inadequate and lonely, she's asking me, how would I rather want to feel about this situation? When I say I want to feel supported, loved, and cared for, what I'm saying is, despite experiencing the abandonment inherent in this memory, I still want to feel an internal sense of I'm supported, I'm loved, and I'm cared for, despite what has happened to me externally. The positive belief is important because when we're doing EMDR, we're linking the trauma that's trapped in the emotional, subcortical part of our brain and linking it to the more resilient, logical part of our brain in the prefrontal cortex. Essentially, with EMDR, we are rewiring our brain and making new connections. With EMDR, our brain will naturally lead us towards its own healing. We just have to have a new positive belief that makes sense in the scope of our trauma that gives our brain the direction to go when we're trying to process our trauma. So again, the positive belief is vitally important because it's what leads our brain in the direction needed to heal itself. I know all this sounds weird, but keep watching and it will make more sense soon.
I'm going to hand off now. So when you bring up those words, I'm alone, and the worst part of that kindergarten event, notice that and follow my fingers.
So, you can't tell it, but I'm emotionally primed and ready to go. I have the 4 main components I need to do EMDR: the traumatic memory, the negative belief, the worst part, and the positive belief. The juices are flowing, I'm emotionally primed, and we're ready to do EMDR. Let's see what happens.
Okay. Go ahead and take a deep breath. Let it out. What came up for you?
Him starting to get up.
Him starting to get up.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go with that. Him starting to get up.
So, I know what you're thinking. This shit looks weird. So let me explain what's going on. This weird Jedi mind trick you see is called Bi-Lateral Stimulation. My eyes are watching her hand go back and forth while I'm also working through the traumatic memory in my head. This activates both sides of our brain and mimics how our brain processes the events of the day during REM sleep. In REM sleep, unbeknownst to us, our eyes are actually darting back and forth, and this helps us process the events of the day. We're tapping into the same process when we do EMDR. We do this for about 20 or 30 passes, and then she checks in with me and asks me, what do you notice? I don't know how to describe it, but for me personally, my trauma in this moment stemmed from abandonment, rejection when I was a kindergartner. And the worst part of the trauma was seeing my younger self so ashamed and alone. So anytime I thought about this memory, I was trapped in seeing this image of myself curled up in a ball with my head down. But after the first set of EMDR, I start to see my younger self starting to get up. Now let's see what happens next. Boy, get emotional, baby. The emotions starting to come in.
What's happening there?
He dusted himself off.
Okay.
It's feeling better.
Dusted himself off and feeling better. It's feeling better.
Woo-wee! That boy's starting to get emotional. So here we start to see the beauty of EMDR. I had a traumatic memory of myself frozen in time. Previously, all I saw was this little version of me locked in a memory of shame and abandonment and rejection. But now with EMDR, I'm processing this trauma and I'm literally starting to see in my mind's eye this little boy pick himself up, dust off that shame, that abandonment, and that rejection, and literally move past that frozen state of trauma that previously defined this memory. Woo! Isn't that shit just beautiful to watch? Let's keep watching.
Okay, go ahead and breathe. Let it out. What came up for you there?
Just kind of walking away.
Walking away.
Moving on.
Keep that with you. Walking away.
Shit gets me kind of emotional right now. So there's something emotionally powerful about EMDR. I'm not going to front. This shit is intensely emotional. So let's break down what's happening here. Why is EMDR so intense? And why am I getting so emotional in this session? When you do EMDR, you are going back to the scene of the crime of your trauma. And you are literally unlocking that trauma and feeling the same feelings, thoughts, emotions, sensations you felt during that initial trauma. Again, you are feeling the same exact pain you felt during that initial trauma. So we can imagine how this can get intense if we're talking about processing something like a rape or a divorce, abandonment, or some type of emotionally intense trauma. We are going to the spot in your brain where that trauma is, and we're massaging that lump of trauma that's frozen in time. If you ever tried to massage a bruise, you know that shit hurts. But we're massaging an emotional bruise, and that's a very emotional experience. Let's keep watching.
And breathe.
The emotion's still coming out.
What's going on?
Deep breath in, baby. He's done. He's done with that moment. He's not looking back.
He's done with that moment. Okay.
Woo-wee. And there you have it. The happy ending. EMDR usually starts out very intense and emotional as we're clearing out the emotional trauma related to our memory. But then eventually we get to what I like to call the happy ending. Your brain is starting to integrate the more positive, more resilient belief that you chose at the earlier stages of EMDR. Remember, mine was I'm loved, I'm supported, and I'm cared for. During EMDR, your brain does all the heavy lifting, and it will literally lead the way and develop a whole new perspective on how you see that previous traumatic memory. My brain's interpretation of being loved, supported, and cared for looked like me uncurling myself from that ball, me getting myself off, dusting myself off, and then me walking past the moment, leaving it behind. You see how I'm the solution to my own trauma. I'm no longer looking for external validation to define if I feel loved or supported. I don't need external validation anymore because I provide that for myself. EMDR shifts our solution from an external one where we're hoping to be saved by someone else or some force outside us to a more internalized based solution where we become our own savior. And the result of this is what I like to call integration. That trauma is no longer an experience that sticks out in my mind. It's been processed. So when I recall that memory, it's no longer a day of abandonment. It's like any other day of my childhood. It's no longer like a September 11th, a day that I can never forget. It's like September 8th or 9th or 10th. What I'm trying to say is that it's just a regular day. Let's keep watching.
I ask you, thinking about the little kindergarten boy, and you feeling alone.
It doesn't bother me at all. I'm just amazed right now.
Zero, sorry.
I feel like a release. I feel lighter.
Okay.
There we go. That's what I was after. Thank you.
There you go. That was a good one.
Yeah. So there you have it. My trauma has been cured and I can move on from this memory. I want to preface this by saying that there's a lot more that goes into EMDR, so don't try this shit at home. EMDR is in no way as smooth of an experience as this video conveys. I kind of edited around some things, so this video didn't include all the steps involved at this stage of EMDR, but it highlighted its core experience. With that being said, it's been nice getting a chance to hang out with you guys from the future. But I think it's time that I hand you guys back off to the past me, so you guys can get a live reaction of his first time experiencing EMDR. See you guys later. There she go. It has been a hell of a day, but let me get in the car and I'll tell you guys all about it. Oh, what's up, boys? What's up? Look at you. All right. What's up, baby?
Hi, Boo.
All right, your boys checking in. It's the end of day 3. I'm here with my beautiful baby right there. It's the real deal, y'all. It's the real deal. They got me. They broke your boy down. It was pretty emotional. It was pretty emotional. So at first, they kind of prime you, get you in an emotional state. They give you a memory to think about. And I chose when I bombed at I was a best man for my best friend, and I bombed at his wedding when I was giving the best man speech. So just to give you guys some context, because I cut it out, before the EMDR session you just watched, I had already tried to do EMDR on a more recent memory, but it wasn't really working. So my theory is that the memory didn't really have a lot of traumatic energy interlaced with it, so it didn't really resonate or stick into my mind. So then we switched it up and I changed it to the memory you just saw me process, and it had the energy and the trauma needed to get something going. Back to the vlog. And when we were going through it, I wasn't feeling anything. Nothing like I was expecting. I wanted to, I want some vivid, some type of vivid thought or something like that, image popping in my mind, because that's what I heard that a lot of people experience. So then, I'm like, man, this shit don't work. And then I talked to the teacher, and she said, hold on now, let's run this back. Let's do something else. She's the same teacher that had talked to me the day before, so she knew some of my business. And she said, let's talk about that inner boy in kindergarten who got that question wrong and was so ashamed of himself. Let's go there. And, I feel the emotion stirring already. And I'm like, all right, let's do it, She starts doing the EMDR thing, and your boy just crumbles, and sees that little boy head down by himself. And that's when that inadequacy turned into loneliness. And that's where I had the heart of the problem here. It wasn't necessarily inadequacy, or maybe it was in some way, but what really affected me was this aloneness, this feeling of aloneness, of not being supported in that moment. And that goes hand in hand with trauma. If you're gonna boil trauma down to its simplest form, it's being in a place where you weren't cared for or nurtured by another person, and having to experience that. At least that's what I was learning throughout this whole week. And that experience hit that feeling right on the money. But that's not where it is. We're not just traumatizing you with EMDR. You go back to that traumatic memory and you reprocess it. So what happened? I didn't stay with my head in the ground alone. I actually saw this vision of me getting up, you know, first like sitting up because my head was down to the ground, and I dust myself off. This is kid me. This is little JJ, you know, dusting myself off, you know. And then I get up, I dust my pants off, I get that dirt off my shoulders. And you know what I did? I just walked away. I didn't get, your boy didn't care. I just walked away. And I moved past that traumatic memory. It was a beautiful thing. Man, your boy was crying and everything, you know, nothing crazy. It wasn't no ugly cry or anything like that. But, you know, I was crying, but I felt like a relief, you know. I had went back to that moment that was stuck in time of being that little kid alone, and I was able to re-enter that moment, get up, and walk it off, and take care of myself. And now that memory isn't just me with my head down, it's me nurturing myself. So, you know, this EMDR thing, there's something to it. I keep saying I'm a believer, and you know, I'm devout now. I'm a damn psycho fan. Fate. I'm a maniac for this stuff now. But yeah, it was a beautiful experience, and I think that's it for today, y'all. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. What's going on, y'all? It is officially day 4. You know, I'm satisfied with the training, having experienced it myself, seeing its wonders, seeing its magic. I'm happy, you know. I guess the stress now is learning everything and making it my own, making myself natural so I can confidently go into therapy with all these new tools. It's a lot to take in. We still have 2 days, 16 hours. So hopefully that helps to bake it in a little bit more. But yesterday, man, hell of a day. I wanted the experience that I was hoping for, that I got yesterday. So that was a relief. At first, when they started doing that waving thing, you know, I was like, yo, this shit ain't working. You know, I don't feel anything. I don't feel the magic. But it was just the wrong memory. You know, it wasn't traumatic enough, I guess. It didn't have enough pop to it. But when they changed to that little boy, I was telling you guys yesterday, that's when the fireworks happened. So I'm really glad that I was able to get that experience, because it really cemented my belief in this modality. I don't know what today has in store. I don't know what the next 2 days. I've gotten what I want, you know, but, you know, I guess I got set in stone now, you know. So, you know the drill by now. I'll check in with you guys at the halfway point and keep you guys posted on any further developments. I'll see you guys later. All right, y'all. So your boy doing his customary check-in. It's halftime, lunchtime. So it's starting to make, this is the thing, y'all. It's a lot of information. I said this on day 1. It's a lot of information, but it's starting to slow down now. It really is starting to become second nature. I'm starting to be able to answer and see things and see the process. It's starting to, let me fix that real quick. It's starting to slow down. It's starting to become more knowledge that I can play with now, and I don't need to refer to. What's going on, my man? What's up? I'm vlogging, right? Hey, what's up, my man?
What's up, bro? How are you?
Hey, chocolate therapist.
Nino.
Nino, nice to meet you, my man. I'm military brat. I'm from Arizona, my man.
I'm from Jacksonville.
Say hi to the people.
Hello, how are we doing?
It's my boy Nino.
Nice to meet you guys. Is this for YouTube?
Yeah.
I want your channel.
Chocolate
I'll
therapist.
subscribe. What kind of content you do?
I do therapy stuff. So
Nice.
a lot of
For sure. Well,
mental health therapy stuff.
Y'all sub my boy up, okay?
My man,
Yes, sir.
you got anything to plug, my man? I only got 1,000 subscribers. That's it.
I'll
Starting
drop
off.
my IG handle.
My man, okay.
Instagram is N.
I appreciate it, man. Good luck on the date. Good people, man. Good people. I forgot what I was gonna say, but starting to become second nature, all right? Everything's starting to slow down now, and I'm starting to understand EMDR, the process, because it's a lot. It's not just waving your fingers around, it's a lot. So we're gonna beat this in for the next 12 hours or so, and I'm just gonna soak up everything, and by the end of this, by the end of tomorrow, I hope I'm somewhat of an intermediate professional, you know? I know what I'm doing, and I'm excited, man. It just feels good. Going back and looking at day 1 and coming on day 3 or 4, and now like seeing the progress, seeing all the confusion, and now becoming like baked in and starting to slow down. It's a beautiful thing. But I don't want to be too late for my for the second half, so I'm gonna see you guys at the end of the day. So I'm not even gonna front with you guys. This vlog was starting to become repetitive, so I decided to jump to the end of the last day of training. Don't worry, you're not really missing much. Days 4 and 5 was just being more of the material into our head, so there wasn't really much else to say. So I'm going to jump to the last day and give you guys my overall review and overview of the program. Back to the vlog. We're done. Your boy's tired. Woo-wee! I think at the beginning of today, I said that it was gonna be bittersweet, you know? That leaving all these people was gonna suck, and you know, spending 40 hours with a bunch of people. You start to grow connections and bonds if they're, you know, quality people, and there was a lot of quality people there. But at the same time, you know, it's time to move on, baby. It's time to put this work to use. And that's where I'm at. Love the people, love the teachers and everything, but I'm tired, man. This beat the hell out of me. This has been an emotional roller coaster, but the good thing, the good feeling is that everything I wanted from this experience, I got. Your boy wanted to learn EMDR, and I achieved that. And just saying bye to some of the people. Oops, sorry. Just saying bye to some of the people. Good people, man. This is the thing, man. The group that you learn this with, that you spend all this time with, so valuable. Such a great thing, man. If it's one thing that I really learned about this, is that me being in private practice, it's great and it has a lot of freedom, but it's really lonely. And that is something that I didn't really realize until I was around a lot of my peers and had a new level of energy around me and happiness and understanding. I was with my people, you know, and that was a gift I haven't had in such a long time. There's just so many positive takeaways, man. I've come so, God, it's been a week. I'm like, I came so far. EMDR, it's a game changer for me, you know. It does so much of the work that I've been trying to figure out through, you know, just experience and reading books and understanding trauma. Oh my God, it's just so, I can't hype it up enough, you know. But this has just been my personal experience, but that's probably the strongest experience I could have had. I really learned so much. This is the deep trauma work that I have always wanted to be able to do as a therapist, and I have a blueprint for that. And this shit cost $1,500, but it was worth every penny. I can say it confidently. My teachers have been Shelly and Stacy, and there's been 2 others, but I haven't worked with them, so I apologize for not knowing their name. But Stacy and Shelly, some of the best women that I could have asked for that I've met. So great, have really good energy, have helped me. They know their shit. Just a beautiful experience that I couldn't have dreamed of. This is what I wanted, you know. It's just so beautiful when you have an idea of what you want and you get it. And not only do you get it, it surpasses your expectations, and it makes it has a real ripple effect on you. And that's what happened. So let's gather ourselves. I set out on this on Monday, you know, skeptical of EMDR, hoping that this would be a good training, that the teachers would be good and be able to teach me all about this, hoping that I would get to experience myself to try and see what all the hoopla was about this modality. And everything that I got has been exceeded. And it's just opened up a whole new world of helping my clients that I didn't have before, that I wasn't even close to having before. And I can't wait to start using it. I've grown so much in this last week. And I can't wait to help people, man. That's what it's all about. I know it sounds cheesy and corny and, you know, me trying to say the right thing, but like, this shit works. And I can just see from myself and my experience with trauma with a lot of the people I've worked with in the past, that this shit is a game changer, man. And I can't suggest to any of you guys. It's called EMDR Counseling. They offer classes all over the country. So I was lucky enough to have a training that was 15 minutes away from my house in Arizona. But if you have an opportunity, take it. Take it. If you want to learn EMDR, and you want to make sure that you are going to a solid place with people that care about it, that are fully invested in you and giving you a quality product, go to this place, man. This is the place. I can't recommend them enough, honestly. This far exceeded my expectations. So, and I have high standards. I'm not some basic bitch, you know. I got high I'm bougie, y'all. I don't just accept nothing. This killed it. They killed it. I might need a therapist, man. Doing this work, you know, I need to talk to someone, and I don't want to have to hold back, you know. And, you know, that's partly what friends are for, but you still got to hold back. I might need some therapy, y'all. This shit, anyway, I don't want to be rambling and stuff like that. This thing, I'm going to have to edit this thing down. I got hours of footage, but yeah, so, y'all know, I recommend this. I started skeptical with this whole thing, and, I'm a believer now, you know. This, I don't know what else to say to show y'all, but your boy's come a long way. But with all that said, y'all, this is the chocolate therapist, John Burt. If you made it this far, I appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe. You know, watch some of my other videos. Support your boy. Trying to get content more consistently out there. But with all that said, God bless, and I'll see you guys in the next session. Bye.